Good afternoon, Brother Nick John Doñahan. So I will have a question for you. Who is God and what is your understanding of God?
So for me, God is my architect who make the best plans for myself.
So God for me is a person who all powerful and almighty. He helps me when I am in my struggles, and he enlightens me towards what I could make a decision for. For example, if I'm in a dilemma of whether going to this event, then I'll pray to God and turn inward. Then He'll help me discover the right way, even if it is wrong, because that's what God is for me. And this concept of God allows me to navigate my life, and then yeah, that's God for me.
Okay, thank you very much. Okay.
Good day, everyone. So today we will be going to discuss our repetitio, the concept of God. And this is my companions, Alvin and Kurt. So our thesis is, man's knowledge of God is limited. And the only thing that man is sure about him is that his attributes and qualities are all good and the best. And as a result, human beings are therefore prone to humanize God and his attributes. So the first supporting point is that one of the description of God which is common is that He is merciful, and being who is always ready to give and help without asking any return. Or in other words, He is working for man unconditionally. So the objection to it is that God is omnipotent and He is incapable of experiencing any pain. So how could God be merciful without experiencing any pain or without having any emotions? So to answer that objection, so God is very different from us human beings in that our attitude toward others or actions is influenced by our experiences. And at the same time, we have just limited knowledge about what others are experiencing, while God Himself is all-knowing, which means that He knows a person well. His experiences, feelings, sufferings, and at the same time, His knowledge and His action does not depend on experience.
So for the supporting points, it's my place. The second supporting point, the supernatural being is a reflection of humanity's highest version as quoted from Erich Fromm. And at the same time, the latter creates a copy of its beauty, which is the living thing called man and woman. So for the objection, God and humanity are both illusions, claiming themselves as superior among other entities. God is made by humans in order to manipulate their fellows, and God has numerous and unbearable errands. But the answer, although it has a logical and existential background, to view God as an illusion, its magnificence is immeasurable, and the real one is outside the understanding of merely human thinking.
Okay, so for the main point 3, man's knowledge of God is mostly not based on direct encounter with Him, but the encounter with His creations and the event in their lives that are extraordinary and unfathomable for human mind. So the valid objection for that is that it is doubtful that some events does not have any further explanation, and man just believe that there is a divine intervention that occurs, but it is really unfathomable by the human mind. Or man just try to escape the complexity of some things, and he have no choice um, but only to accept that there is a divine intervention that occurs. So the answer for that is that man did not choose to believe in God and His good attributes for the reason that he does not have any option and there can be no explanation in it, because it only leads to infinite redress, but rather in case that there is an explanation in his pursuit for understanding events and things in life, he always lead to a conclusion that there is God.
So now we will be going to deal with our insights. So looking and questioning God through the lens of human being is a very foolish act for the reason that humans are not the same as God. And truthfully, human beings are nothing compared to God, who acts and decides independently without being affected by the factors that affect the human being.
So with the second insight, it is important to doubt God, not for it to be annihilated from the consciousness of people, but instead to fully recognize its being beyond measure and underestimation. Thus, God is therefore something greater, cannot be thought of.
Okay. Also, it is very mysterious that we are not obliged to know God and believe in Him, but our pursuit for knowledge, understanding, better life, and our desire always leads us to Him, which means that we came from Him and following the path towards Him, someday we will be able to go back to Him. He is the beginning and at the same time, the end.
So to conclude this repetitio, God shows itself to humanity with the help of reason, not with a reason for neglecting the presence of the said being. The faculty of reason and thinking is gifted down to human being in order to deal with their surrounding, but not in their trampling the ground of the divine. That's all. Thank you.